EVs owners angry as EVs don't work in winter. Consider purchasing a car that claims to preserve the environment, only to have it malfunction just when you need it most. Many electric vehicle (EV) owners have discovered that their vehicles don't function well in the winter. Why is this happening? How can it be fixed? And come find out more. Electric vehicles have been heralded as the transportation of the future, offering numerous benefits like zero emissions, lower operating costs, and a smooth, quiet ride. However, a significant issue has emerged that is causing frustration and anger among EV owners. These vehicles are not performing well in cold weather during the winter months, particularly in regions where temperatures drop below freezing. EV owners are discovering that their vehicles are not performing as expected. In fact, the problem is so severe that it's as though their high-tech EVs have turned into unresponsive robots, leaving them stranded in the cold. The main problem with these cars is their batteries. Just like any other battery-operated item, the batteries and EVs are impacted by cold temperatures. When the mercury lowers, the chemical and physical reactions in the battery slow down the process of generating electricity. This slowness lowers the EV's available power, which affects how well it operates in sub-freezing temperatures. EVS's driving range may decrease by as much as 30%. This means that an electric vehicle, EV, that typically travels 200 miles on a full charge might only be able to travel 150 miles in the cold. While this reduced range might still be adequate for daily commuting, it could leave drivers stranded during longer trips, especially if charging stations are not easily accessible. Charging the vehicle also becomes difficult in cold weather because the same chemical reactions that affect driving range also affect the charging process. Some owners have reported that their vehicles show 0% charge even after being plugged in for hours. This problem is made worse when public charging stations are crowded with EVs waiting for a boost in power. Ways to address these problems have been proposed, transforming these stations into what some have referred to as automobile graveyards. One way EV owners can deal with the cold and prevent their EVs from becoming lifeless robots is to precondition the battery before charging. EVs are still a relatively new and developing mode of transportation, but they have a lot of potential to grow in popularity and be useful in the future. In addition, controlling an EV in cold weather can be rather difficult. For example, some manufacturers advise turning on specific settings at least 30 to 45 minutes in advance of departure and using particular features to find a charging station. Despite these suggestions, many owners find it challenging to adhere to these instructions, particularly when they are stuck in the cold with a non-starting car. This has caused a great deal of frustration among EV owners, some of whom have been forced to hire tow trucks to move their unresponsive vehicles. While others have had to abandon their cars and seek alternative transportation, the anger is increasing, especially since these issues are not widely discussed in sales pitches or promotional materials for EVs. This dead robot phenomenon has raised serious questions about the viability of EVs in cold climates. While the technology has advanced significantly in recent years, it's clear that there are still challenges to overcome. Until a solution is found, EV owners living in cold regions may need to plan their trips carefully and take extra precautions during the winter months. Some EV owners in places like Chicago, where it can get very cold in winter, have experienced problems with their EVs. Because of this, they have found that their EVs run out of electricity faster than expected, and they have trouble finding or using charging stations that work properly in the cold. Some of them have even been stranded in the middle of nowhere with no power to move their EVs or keep them warm. They have called their EVs dead robots because they look like machines that have stopped working and cannot be revived. An important problem that is making owners angry and frustrated is how EVs performs in cold weather. The battery's efficiency is impacted by the frigid temperatures, decreasing the driving range and delaying the charging procedure in the process. While certain solutions, such as battery preconditioning, have been proposed, they are not necessarily workable or efficient. This problem emphasizes the need for more study and advancement in EV technology, especially in terms of enhancing battery performance in cold climates. Until then, EV users will have to prepare for possible disruptions throughout the winter months. Due to the effects of the cold weather on the vehicle's battery and general performance, maintaining an electric car throughout the winter can be difficult. Nevertheless, there are a few tips that can help you make the most of your EV during this time. If you can, park inside or under a cover. Parking your electric vehicle indoors or under cover will assist keep the battery efficient and shield it from the elements. Preheat the battery. If you charge your EV at home, leave it plugged in when you begin to warm it to prevent the battery from being depleted. Most EVs allow you to schedule a time to warm your car before you leave. This is advantageous since it warms the battery and the interior. Control the battery's charge levels in chilly weather. The battery management system of the vehicle sets aside a specific portion of the battery capacity to heat the battery. For optimal efficiency, the battery should be charged more frequently. Heating the passenger rather than the vehicle when it's cold will shorten the range of your electric vehicle. If you're driving, limit the heat to the driver's side only. Use your seat heaters alone, or just when available, as they use less energy than heating the entire vehicle. Inflate your tires. When the temperature lowers and the pressure decreases, the air in your tires contracts. For optimal winter range, make sure you routinely check the tire pressure. Employ Eco Mode. The majority of EVs have EC mode, which limits the amount of energy used by the driving engine and cabin heaters to increase mileage and decrease power consumption. Avoid quick charging. Reducing the amount of time you spend charging your battery can help it last longer. Use less regenerative braking. You might think about disabling your car's regenerative braking system to minimize sudden loss of traction while driving. Be prepared for emergencies. You can make sure that your electric vehicle, EV, runs as efficiently as possible during the winter months by keeping an ice scraper, an extra coat or blanket, extra water, and an emergency kit with first aid supplies in your car. However, keep in mind that every EV is different, so what works well for one model may not work as well for another. Always consult your vehicle's owner's manual for specific maintenance and care instructions. Assistance can offer enhanced traction and maneuverability on slick winter roadways. In areas with heavy snowfall or on back roads, AWD systems can be especially useful for distributing power to all four wheels of the car. If you frequently drive in these conditions, you might want to choose an EV model with increased ground clearance. This can lessen the chance that the car's underside will scrape against ice and snow while driving. Winter tires are specifically made to offer superior traction on snow and ice when compared to all-season or summer tires, which can greatly enhance an electric vehicle's performance in colder weather. Wheels. These days, several tire companies sell winter tires designed specifically for electric vehicles, EVs, that are quiet and efficient. Battery reconditioning is a feature that some electric vehicles, EVs, offer. It involves warming the battery while the car is still plugged in, which can increase battery efficiency and increase driving range in cold weather. Using the preconditioned conditioning feature can also cut down on the amount of time you have to wait for your car to charge its heated features. When selecting an EV for winter driving, take into consideration models that give a suitable range to fulfill your needs. Cold weather can limit an EV's driving range. Even in chilly weather, the best EV for winter driving will depend on your unique demands and the driving conditions. Charge speed. In colder weather, an EV's battery can be charged more slowly. You will not believe what happened to thousands of electric vehicle, EV, owners this winter. Many were left stranded in the cold when their cars failed to start. Now you know the explanation for this startling phenomenon. You can enjoy efficient, environmentally friendly driving all year round, even in the winter. Did you like this video? Please leave a comment below and remember to like, share, and subscribe.